Yeah, another day, another YouTube live stream by the Tim Black Show. What's up with my people, my people, my people? What's up? Let me give a shout out to the one and only Black Mamba, Ebony, and Buck Bewley. Yeah, baby. We here again. And also the Tim Black Wolfpack people in the house. What's up, Wolfpack? The Wolfpack people are in the house. Yeah, y'all came through anyway, huh? I didn't piss you off enough last time? Get on in here then. Take a load off. What's up, She Cooks and Roast? Papa's up in this joint. What's up, Papo Nay? What up, fam? The one and only Black Rose is in the building. Tay Diggs. What up, Tay? I got my moderators. It's time for the moderators. It's time for the moderators. It's time for the What's up, Ronald Lewis? What up, fam? What's up, Katrina Prater? Katrina, I see you. Thank you. AT, what's up, man? Yeah, we in the house. We in the house. Yo. Anthony McDowell. Okay, what's up, Ant? All right, we good. We good, fam. Real good. That's what's up, Tay. I feel you, man. Give it up for Tay, man. Yo, man, be here, be here. Neo, what's up, Neo? Good to see you, fam. Trust no party. That's a smart one right there, boy. Trust no party. You know what time it is. Kira Clark. Oh, I got a Mark Lamont Hill segment I'm gonna do tonight, man. It's interesting. All I can say is be here, man. I got it. It's locked and loaded. Yo, he live right now too. Yeah, man. It's gonna be interesting. So the Tim Black Wolfpack is in the building, man. Let me be the first one to say, man, it's a pleasure doing this show 5 days a week. We do this often, right? And I'm glad I didn't have to cancel tonight's show because Mrs. Black is amazing, and she understood I didn't want to cancel on late notice if I could avoid it. The whole family's back because they had to go down south, which is just down Virginia. Yeah, it's a 2-hour drive. I mean, some people don't even consider that going nowhere, but you know. But I'm better now. They home, they safe, everybody in the crib. So you know how it is when when everybody's back, you're like, okay. All right. All right. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't worried at all. You know, Miss Black got a left foot. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. She texted me. She said, I'm caught up in traffic. I was like, she don't know. I was like, thank you. Because I don't know what it is about women, man. Women be speeding like they can't get tickets. I don't know what it is about women, man. You know what I'm saying, Faded Blaze? You know what I'm talking about? Women be doing things like, it sometimes feel like black women ain't black. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know I'm the prime suspect. You know what I'm saying? I know that. You know, I'm as old as I am, I'm still taking my cap off in the car when I'm driving. This is what they get you. This is how they get you. This is how they get you. They see that cap. They pulling that cap over. You know what I'm saying? I'm old as how many old ass black men watching? When I say old ass, you know what I'm saying? You ain't that old, but you know what I'm saying. You still do things to avoid fitting the description. You know, and they stopped looking for you like 10 years ago, but you still worried because Black women be like not thinking about that, you know? Here's the thing that people don't get, and that's why it's great having an audience that gets it. Black people haven't arrived until our women can be just as goofy as white women. That's when we have arrived as a society. You know what I'm saying? That's when I go and put my flag in the background, like the Hodge twins. You know what I'm saying? When it actually is applicable. You know, when our women can be like, oh, I just made some muffins. When black women can be appalled, like, oh, you know, when black women can start doing that, oh my God, did he curse in front of the children? When black women can have the stunned face, the shock face of disbelief. That's why I say, man, a lot of the conservative, black conservatives, man, they're a little early. They hopeful, you know. Reality will get that ass, though. Reality will catch you up. So like I was saying, like Mrs. Black, she be driving like she don't know that she can get tickets, that she can fit descriptions. She just... When I drive, she be like this. You ain't gonna take that yellow? You ain't gonna take the yellow. Did you have to come to a complete stop? Jesus. And when she drives, I'm like this. I don't want to be no punk, so I'll be quiet. Sometimes I just close my eyes. Just, 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4 potato, 5 potato, 6 potato. Try not to look at the road and shit. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Never noticed it was another hand rest right there. That's nice. Oh, additional cup holder. I forgot we had that. That's nice. I'll just play with this. Be good on my phone. Yeah, man. I know I'm not the only one. I said I know I'm not the only one. All right, man. I know it's crazy, but look, the Tim Black Show is actually a U.S. politics show. We also cover breaking news in black culture. We do that right here on this channel. But you know, since I'm just having a conversation with some friends, I talk about stuff like that sometimes too. Get us going, man. You know what I'm saying? This is water. Don't start no rumors. Tim Black is drinking on his shows. Yeah, I remember when somebody used to get lit doing lines and getting drunk on the show. People, progressives like, he's so great. I'm like, he's drunk. They ain't care. They ain't care. He had the complexion for the protection from the collection. They ain't care. He got a substance abuse problem. It was just he was a white guy who used to do that. I don't know. I don't think he still does content. I think he opened an OnlyFans page now and only MAGA page now. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't keep up. I'm over here doing my thing. I try to mind my business. So what's going on, people? We got some news tonight. Tonight's title is Thunder Thursday. Philly garbage. Ice is cold. How many people didn't know ice was already cold? You ain't know ice was cold, baby? Where you been? Marc Lamont here. His name's so long, I said I ain't gonna put no words out. I'm just gonna put Marc Lamont Hill. He on fire right now. Marc Lamont Hill was having a moment. So I figured it's, let me go ahead and cover Marc Lamont Hill. You know what I'm saying? something came across my timeline. I thought I'd make a clip out of it. We will. And Trump agenda wins. The Trump agenda is winning. Oh, man, I'm feeling good. Black Rose, good up for Black Rose, man. She know what I'm talking about. I'll be like, baby, we just want to get there in one piece. The store ain't moving. Slow down. Please, baby. Then I see a Fed. See, you don't see him. You don't look at him. Thank you, baby. I ain't see him. I know you didn't. Man, I love her, man. I love her. I love her, love her, love her. Love her, love her. Look, man, we here on the Tim Black Show, we are promoting the mug, the Tim Black Legacy mug. This one's full of tea. Got some tea and some honey going on, man. I got tired of getting all scratchy voice. Yeah. Well, that's good. I got to get to it while it's still warm. Oh, the mug. Get yourself a Tim Black Show mug. It's a legacy mug. It's $20 to your door. Dishwasher, microwave, hater safe, all that good stuff. Go to timblackmug.com. Get your mug today. Order it. It'll be shipped and packaged right here from this show. I do it here. I got an in-house fulfillment center. Me and my daughter fulfill the orders. And also, Mrs. Black sometimes help with the deliveries to the post office. So, well, basically, that is, she does do that. So, it is a family business, this merch stuff. Some of it. You know, if you order on the website, if you go to the Spreadshirt site at timblackpaws.com, that's fulfilled by someone else. But when you buy this particular mug, it's right here, baby. So if you want me and my family to send you a box of goodies, order this mug and you'll get a box of goodies. That's at timblackmug.com. Yeah. What else? Is that it? Yeah, we'll do it. I got another thing I'll do later. You guys ready for some content? Y'all ready for some content, fam? Can we get into the content of the show, Tim Black? They ain't going to Tim Black. Jesus. And sister tell me, like, I like your show, Tim. It's really informative. Suggestion. Hurry your black ass up. That's all I'm saying. Hello. Man, I can't even say nothing. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. If I hurry myself up now, people be confused. They don't know when they show up. I start being on time. I was like, if I start being like, if I move the show to like 10, people, they miss the show. Yeah, they're like, you know, act like you're going to a good party. You don't want to show up too early. Can we get it cracking, y'all? Let's get it cracking. All right, guys. Now remember, the Tim Black Show is not supported, not brought to you by anybody, no political parties. We are of no affiliation with any political party. Democrats or Republicans, neither one. But I am a Democratic Party hater. Yeah, I'm a Democratic Party hater, fam. Yeah, I figure if you've been lying to my people for 70 years, I have a right to hate you. Yeah, I got a right to hate you. Doesn't mean I hate every Democrat. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I don't use that word hate on people. But the system, yeah. I hate the system of corruption in this country. I hate the way that you got to buy your way into elections. And I hate the Democratic Party for lying to my people and holding us captive. Pointing over there at the red people going, boogeyman, bad, bad, bad. Us angel, them evil. We the good ones. They the evil. I hate that because it's not true. corruption don't care where it go. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but the Republican Party has not cornered the market on racism either. Why do people think this? Propaganda. Propaganda makes them think that. Last thing, folks, I'm not here to make you a Republican. I'm here to get you to realize you need to stop giving your vote to the Democratic Party every election, automatic, like they're holding your children hostage. No, you need to make a decision. Become an independent, and then look at what's offered and make a decision based on the needs of your family. Now, I don't know why that translates to Tim supports Trump. I don't know why. It's like because the voodoo that the Democrats have been working on black Americans is starting to wear off. So me saying vote what's your best interest is starts to sound like, it's sort of like if you got a friend that's in a bad relationship, you're like, look, you need to do what's right for you. You need to take care of your own mental health. You need to have peace in your home. If they got an abusive spouse, that sound like, oh, you told her to get rid of me. You told her I wasn't good enough for her, huh? That's how that translates when you got an abusive spouse. Now, I didn't say that. I said you need some peace in your house. I said you don't need nobody talking with their hands. You think she putting something in your food or something? You don't need to be with her. You got to have peace of mind. You can't sleep with one eye open. But see, the Democrats, their egos are so fragile, and their hold on the blacks is so weak now. A man just saying, get something for your vote, sound like blasphemy. How dare he say, get something for your vote? And they sound like the Democrats are old. Listen here, smart Negro. Don't come over here riling up our Negroes. Everything was fine till you showed up, putting thoughts in their head like their own self-interest. I tell them what to be interested in. Ain't that right, Clyburn? That's right. That's right. I know Joe. He's the most progressive there's ever been progressive in them. He is the bestest of the bestest. And we like pharmaceutical money. And we get all the pharmaceutical money and we put it in our pocket and we spend it. Now you come on down and get a fish fry. So anyway, why am I doing this? Tim, stop joking, be serious. Folks, you know what it is? It's time for us to focus on small businesses, focus on enterprising, focus on building our own wealth. It's time for us to focus on taking care of our families, about becoming politically astute. It's about being smarter. It's all these things. That's what time it is. No one's going to give it to you. You got to take it. All right, guys, let's go. Let's jump off into the first story.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Strike tensions are rising with slashed tires, open hydrants, and picket line problems. Reports of them.
Yeah, 911 and some water workers have already been ordered back to the job. So what does that mean exactly, Hank?
Well, what it means, I'll show you what it means in a different way right here. Is these guys load this garbage truck up, guys at 18th and Catherine. It's down to the specifics what that is. What you're looking at here is Philadelphia sanitation clip workers or community life improvement program workers loading this garbage truck up. You might be asking yourself, well, shouldn't they be on strike? Well, there are workers that work for sanitation that are not members of DC 33, and that is how they can be out here working and still respecting the picket lines.
Okay, I think I need to clear up what we're talking about here. Okay, so in Philadelphia, there's a strike right now, right? So the union workers, Philly workers strike, District Council 33 shuts down city services. AFSCME District Council 33, representing 9,000 Philly municipal workers, is on day 3 of a strike that began on July 1st. This is the first strike since 1986. Trash collection, 911 dispatch, water services, street maintenance, airport custodial work, and school crossing guards are halted, with trash piling up across the city. The union demands are as such: earning $46,000 on average, demanding 5% annual raises over 3 years, cost of living adjustments, 5,000 pandemic bonuses, and full health care coverage to afford Philly's $60,000 living cost. Listen to this. Now wrap that around your head. Living in Philly costs an estimated $60,000, and we got municipal workers making an average of $46,000. That making any sense? So there's a pay raise controversy. Mayor Sherelle Parker and her cabinet reportedly got 8 to 9% pay raises. Meanwhile, they offered the workers between 2 and 3% pay raises. Union leaders called this unfair, accusing Parker of prioritizing officials over the working poor. Now that you understand what's happening, there's a strike. And why there's a strike? Let's go back to the cover.
When you're talking about at the call center, 911 call center, or Philadelphia Water, you're talking about different kinds of specifics, plus that judge's order, Mike, that you were talking about. But look, we know this. Americans produce more garbage than any other society on earth. Stands to reason that here in the cradle of liberty, Philadelphia, we're going to have a dumpster full one day into a strike, and this is the city's drop-off point again for garbage in this neighborhood, 18th and Catherine, one of 60 citywide.
So what's happening is, since the garbage collectors went on strike, they have set up, the mayor set up these spots across the city. I think it's like 60, where citizens are expected to go to these locations and dump their own trash. Here's the problem. She thinks, the city, members in the city can just get in their car and drive their trash to a drop-off point. The problem with that is some 30 to 40% of Philly residents don't have cars. That's the first thing. That means people got to walk. Some people got to walk up to a mile or two just to get to one of these locations to throw the trash out. Folks, obviously, this is a problem. But see, this is the type of mess you get when you got a mayor running a city where they prioritize their money, their pocketbooks, and not the pocketbooks of the workers. You gotta find a solution to this. I don't care. If you are elected and you can't solve this problem, you don't need to be in that job. Because this right here is everything. These type of services, right? And look, we just talking about trash. It's horrific, but think about it. Also, water services, street maintenance. School crossing guards are closed right now. But what about when schools reopen? So, look, they're lucky that that's not the case, that schools are open. This is a big-time problem, man. This will be a problem for any city. And it shows the arrogance of the mayor, the arrogance of city officials that they would allow this to happen. You got to come to an agreement. Let's see.
And I'll get into more of that in a second.
It's a bit ridiculous. Exact same problem.
Makes it super around on all of the side streets and everything during the day, and it honestly just makes it super congested as well with everybody that's walking around, and smelly, of course.
We don't have problems with rodents or anything like that on this block. I'm hoping they'll do just like what they say.
No guidance. I imagine other neighborhoods are dealing with the exact same problem, so it's a bit ridiculous.
Now, Mike, Alex, another bizarre and scary dynamic was the one going on yesterday, captured by Sky Fox with people at City Hall called saboteurs. out opening up fire hydrants, in this case 2 of them on the same corner. City Hall says it was a deliberate attempt to lower water pressure to drive City Hall negotiators back to the table. There are Philly Water Department workers striking, as you said, getting into it. But
yeah, man, this is horrible, man. This is not good. Not a good look. Yeah, I was looking at this news program, man. I've never seen it before, man. Joe Biden, when did Joe Biden start doing the news?
yeah, there's a map on a sanitation site that says where your closest one is, and this is one of the ones that the city has listed here at 18th and Catherine. But there's a dumpster here, and locals here are complaining that people are coming from far outside the area to dump here.
Got it. Okay, so some are full, others are not, as he mentioned.
Well, it's a reminder how fast trash piles up. When did this strike start? Yesterday? No.
But remember, these are certain points, so that
Yeah,
means
that's right.
it's not just what's on your street. It's people
Right.
from different areas because they have to go to these access points if they choose to still have their trash picked up during the strike.
Wow. Dang.
Because there's only about, I think, 60 in the entire city.
It shows the importance of sanitation workers. My God.
It's kind of weird because you think that I thought that guy worked there. It's like he's getting the news when we're getting the news. It's kind of, I don't know. Maybe he's like me. He just runs the tape and goes for it. I don't know. Anyway, so there was a negotiation with the union members. Here goes how that went.
Hey, Greg. What's the word, Greg?
We're on strike.
Any new talks scheduled?
Not at this moment.
How disappointing is it?
It's disappointing. Again, we provide all the services of the men and women inside the city of Philadelphia, and we would like to get to a point where we reach a deal that's, serviceable for our members. And so far, we have not reached that point. The mayor has reached out, and we appreciate the conversation with her, but we'll live to have a conversation another day. Tonight, we are effectively on strike, and we are moving forward with that. So tomorrow may bring different circumstances.
Let me say this to you, the taxpaying residents of the city of Philadelphia. Your public health and safety is my number one priority, and my ultimate goal, even during this very challenging time, is to ensure that we reach a fair and fiscally responsible contract with the working men and women of District Council 33. I'll close with, I made a promise to you, the people of the city of Philadelphia, that if you elected me mayor, I'd work to make it the safest, cleanest, greenest big city in the nation with economic opportunity for all. We're doing the best that we can with what we have, and we can't make that vision a reality without District Council 33. Prayers up to the negotiating team and District Council 33 at the table. I wholeheartedly believe that we will and can get to yes. Thank you so very much.
The real bad thing about this is, well, it's bad for a lot of reasons, right? It's also bad is that she's the first female mayor in Philly. And yeah, that brings a host of other problems, like maybe, they're going to use this. Maybe there's some, I don't know, man. It's just whenever you got a first going on and you got problems, I don't know. It's just something I found out, man. She's an American politician, served over 100. She served as the 100th mayor of Philadelphia since 2024, the first woman to hold the office. And yeah. And now everything done broke down, and it's not a good look. That's all. Take that for what it is.
All right, here we have a trash update from Philadelphia. This is just 18th and Christian. One single day. And this is the people who actually brought their trash here. If it's like 2 blocks away, the people did not bring their trash. If they put it out in the morning and they went to work, they're still at work and they did not bring their trash. But we have a full dumpster, and now the sidewalk. This is going to be really excellent. So, yep. Wow, fantastic.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector. Next on deck.
Yeah, man, I'm wondering, how does this get to happen? Like, how does this actually, become a reality for a community? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't imagine this happening in a city where you had a bunch of elites, right? There's no way that lady be out of a job right now. There's no way she'd allow this to happen. Something would break, right? Something. I mean, they'd be trying to recall the mayor at this point. I mean, what are you gonna do? You gotta work with the union, right? You have to come to an agreement. You know, things are bad. It's been brewing for a while, and it's like it fell into her lap because if you're talking about pandemic pay, $5,000 pandemic bonuses, the pandemic, that's what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? How many? They're still trying to get paid from that. So some of this sounds like grievances that have piled up over time, sort of like trash. And now it's at her doorstep. And I don't know, maybe it's not a good look. Maybe if you say, we don't have the money to give you the pandemic bonuses, maybe we don't have the money to adjust you to 8, maybe you shouldn't have got, you shouldn't have took an 8% increase, you and your staff, and maybe they would understand, like if you both, get what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to give the workers between 2 and 3% bonuses or increase, no cost of living adjustment, and then give yourself and your staff 8 to 9? It's you're telling people you don't care about them. That's exactly what it is. I mean, you could have decided not to even take a bump. So what I'm saying is, in good faith, what Sherelle Parker should do, Mayor Parker should have done, I believe, is she shouldn't even took a raise. Just to signify, hey, I'm not trying to screw you. I'm not making any more money. If the issue is it's a fiscal problem, we just don't have it in the budget, I can't do it, I will not take a nickel more. But she didn't do that, did she? She went on and took care of herself. So I support the workers, obviously. Yeah, I support the city workers. City workers are not getting rich off this. Average city workers, $46,000 a year. If that's the case, they are not asking for too much. They need to ask for more, probably. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. But I'm riding with the workers on this. There is no way, like, if she wanted to act in good faith, you go about it a different way. Yeah, they're asking for several things, but that's what negotiation is. You have your wish list, and then you come, you make a counter, and then you get to a place where you're both hurting a little, but no one's screwed. And at this point, I don't think that's what happened. And it's on the workers, they have the upper hand. Because if grandma got to carry her garbage, what about the older Philadelphians? They're supposed to, what if they don't have cars? And what if they can't carry the trash out like that? Walk 5 blocks to a dump site? I mean, they pay for this, right? I think in Philly they pay a certain amount of money to have garbage done, right? I'm lost. Man, let me know what y'all think, man. I'm out. It's crazy. Next story. Don't make no damn sense.
With Tim Black.
No.
Sir, let's go.
Todos.
Sir.
Todos nos vamos.
We're not doing this.
Todos nos vamos.
Okay, I saw this story on Twitter, right? I saw this clip and it caused a lot of conversation. I made a couple of tweets about it and this caused more conversation. I figured, hey, let's make a segment about it. I don't know the name of this person here, but it appears what took place is we have immigration court. We've got ICE at the immigration court trying to pick up people that are undocumented, right? And they end up pulling this guy up while he's there with his wife and his child. Okay, so that's where we are. It's 2 children there, as I can see. 2 children. So here we are.
Black.
No.
Sir, let's go.
Todos.
Sir.
Todos nos vamos.
We're not doing this.
Todos nos vamos.
We're not doing this.
Todos nos vamos.
Delincuentes no somos nada, todos nos vamos.
Have a little
No hay
discretion.
ningún problema.
I think this would be a really discretionary moment
seems like
where
a
you
moment
can
for
let them
discretion,
go.
right?
If there's
No entiendo
small
por qué lo están
children,
haciendo, pero todos somos familia y nos vamos todos.
there's 3
No hay
small
problema.
children.
Se van a deportar todos.
Entonces ahora no va para con eso, ¿ok?
Muestra.
Sí, tengo que mostrarlo porque yo no soy. Ok, está bien, yo no soy. Ok, está bien. Ok, ¿sí o no? Sí tengo, pero yo no soy ese que está ahí. Yo no soy. No.
Se llama Dani.
Gracias. Dani.
Nada, no hay ningún problema, no se preocupen.
Tengo mis niños.
That's all we need to know is your name. That's it. Okay?
Ya, no
We just needed to know your name,
problema.
and that's it. Okay?
Give him some space, guys.
Ya, no hay problema.
Thank you. Okay? Thank you.
Pero yo te digo, no te pongas así.
Stay out of the way, sir. Stay out of the way.
Thank you.
Counsel, I'm allowed
Pero
to
¿por
be
qué te
here.
pones
They have a right
así?
to
No
interview.
hicimos nada, no te pongas así.
Press the elevator down for me, please.
No te pongas así. Tú no eres delincuente, nosotros no somos delincuentes, no te pongas así.
Tranquilo. Okay? So it's
Verga, tenemos los niños aquí, no pasamos nada, que sea lo que Dios quiera, siempre lo he dicho. No somos delincuentes, no tenemos antecedentes, nada. Ellos no pueden culparnos de nada.
Tranquilo, usted está bien.
Ya no ha pasado nada.
Thank you. No, it's okay. Thank you.
So what I'm getting from this is that there was a case of mistaken identity, it appears, where they thought he was somebody and they had to verify who he was because they thought they were looking for somebody else. Maybe he matched the description. That's what I'm getting from it. And obviously it's very upsetting. This, you're not who they think they are. You're a person who has your paperwork in order. You have your ID and they need to verify that. And wifey was very upset and the kids were upset. And numerous people here, I guess it's at City Hall, were, kind of leaning into it.
Thank you.
Go down.
Tienes que poner así, cuando no eres delincuente. Tienes que ponerte así. No te tienes que poner así. No pasa nada, nos vamos todos, no hay problema.
Okay, so I made a post about this issue. And I said basically that one of the things about it, because the person that posted the video didn't just post the video, they provided commentary, right? So before I get to Omari's response, let me just tell you, okay? The person who posted this, and there were multiple posts of this same video, they put a lot of language like how ungodly, how inhumane of ICE and of the police to, harass this good father when he's with his child and his wife. And how about they scaring him? These people got on masks and they're cops and they got on vests and they approach this man and they scare the hell out of him. And what kind of a country do we live in where people are doing this to US, doing this to human beings? And this is so, if you don't feel bad about this, what kind of person are you? How are we letting this, happen? And what does that say about those of you who are allowing this to happen? There was all this on the high horse, total, total collapse onto this issue. And just gaslighting extraordinaire, like throwing everything at the wall about how barbaric it was, how callous America is, yada, 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 yada. And it got to the point, man, but I was pissed off. I was ticked, but in my own defense, I made sure not to be. I made sure that I was not too upset, right? So, I'm gonna be totally transparent, right? Because this is the lens that I speak from when I talk about issues like this, right? So let me find that post real quick. It shouldn't take long. Here we go. And let me see if I can. Yeah. Hold tight, guys. Here we go. Let me bring this in here. I want to make sure people see it, man. So if I present it here, let me see if I can share the screen. All right. Oh, let me see. Hold tight, guys. That's Omari. There we go. It's not that easy to see. Damn it! It's kind of large what I wrote here. You know, it's kind of hard to see here. Let me see if there's any way. If I got up here, see if that helps. Did that help anything? Still difficult to. I'm just gonna have to read it to you guys. Let's go. And it says, "Oh yes, it sucks being profiled, doesn't it? How many of us Black Americans have sat there while the cops ran our name, our social security numbers, praying their busted computers got it right that night?" There we go. That's a little bit better. Meanwhile, the cops are trying to bait us into running our mouths or throwing a punch just so they can beat us down. So to all you outraged about non-Black Americans being treated like Black Americans for once, I hear you. Complain if you must, but please have the decency not to complain in front of us. Been there, done that. Okay, and then there was a lot of comments from folks, obviously. You know, a lot of people supported it, a lot of people didn't support it, you know, but, you know, it is what it is. And my point of that, what I was trying to tell people is everything that you're saying, everything that you're showing, that you're so appalled about when it comes to ICE, that's been happening to Black Americans forever. That's been happening to us all the time. It's called driving while Black. It's called walking while Black. It's called being Black. Okay, that's what it is. I'm old as hell and I'm still taking my hat off in my own car because they still profiling Black people, particularly if you're a young Black man. When I say young, you know, we age so well sometimes it's hard to tell. So basically almost any age until you get a lot of gray in your beard, and even then you might meet fit a subscription or a description. So what I'm saying is part of what's so frustrating is people are now finally appalled about a problem, and it's only natural. I think it's only human nature for Black Americans to be like, oh, now y'all give a damn. Now we're supposed to be so appalled. We've been telling y'all this is how it's been. What do you think Giuliani's policies were about? What do you think about policies in D.C. and towns all across this country have been about? What do you think about Ferguson? Ferguson, when they did the report on Ferguson, they found out that thing was over-policed to the hilt. That these police officers were basically hunting people in Ferguson like they were cantaloupe or antelope, and they were cheetahs hunting antelopes. Like, this is what's been happening forever. But most people didn't give a shit about it because it was happening to Black Americans. Now, also, let me just add this because I know this to be true. If you're a poor-ass white person living in a small town, you may or may not be watching this show, but I know for a fact they get it too. Because who else they gonna lock up? They can't bust in people to lock up. They can't bust in people to put into the prisons. But right now I'm talking about Black Americans because that's who the post was about. So to that point, Omari said this. I remember getting off work in my security uniform, minding my own business. Cops following me a few minutes. Later, right before I reached my house, the entire police department had me surrounded, gun drawn. I just had done 12-hour shift, tired as these mofos said.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Come on now. These mofos said my car matched the description in a robbery. Having the wrong license plate wasn't enough. They still had to run all my information, knowing they had the wrong person in the wrong car. They eventually gave a bullshit apology. I sold that car immediately. These immigrants can't survive a day in our shoes. The amount of stress, trauma we've had to endure in such a short amount of time is astronomical. See, what I'm trying to tell you is that there's a lot of resentment in the Black community due to how we've been treated over the years. And when you see another group getting a little taste of what we've been getting all this time, and we see this upheaval, this emotional pearl clutching, people losing their minds, and even worse, we get those same people talking to us like we don't know what it is. Like we don't know what abuse from cops is. Like we don't know what harassment is. Like we don't know what racial profiling is. How dare a Latino or Hispanic person say to black people in America they racially profiling us? I'm sorry, but it's very difficult. I do not apply for what's happening. I do not clap for you being racially profiled, but I'm saying that's part of the process. At least in your case, it's because some of you are undocumented. They just did it to us hoping they could find something on us. These cops, as Michael Graham from the Reset Race said, these cops are there at these hearings. They're at least following a lead. Man, they just pull up random black people and hope something wrong. Remember that young black man, what was his name? The one that was killed in the car. The one that was killed, he had a license for his gun, and the cop shot him, point blank range. He's in a car with his girlfriend. And the name escapes me, but I'm sure someone here knows. What was that brother's name in the car that got shot down by the cops, man? It was like maybe 7 years ago. It was one of those stories. Philando Castile, thank you, Princeton. Priceless Princess, thank you, Priceless. Do you know Philando Castile had been pulled over like 100 times? They pulled him over so many times for nothing. Just so happens that last time was the last time they pulled him over because they killed him. What I'm saying, folks, and black people do not have to act like we find it. We don't have to be your magical Negroes that enjoy getting mistreated, and then when you get mistreated, we ready to jump on a grenade for you. You understand what I'm saying? I want to try to use my words. I want to express this. Black Americans, it is inhumane for any group of people, progressive, liberal, what have you, to look at Black Americans and chastise us because you think that we don't have the adequate amount of anger or frustration over this group of people being treated as we've been treated all this time. It is only natural for Black Americans who have been facing this treatment and getting very little focus on it until George Floyd, until Philando Castile, until Trayvon Martin, until someone gets killed that the system can make money off of. Because there's so many other deaths. If every time a black person was killed by a cop in a routine traffic stop, that became a George Floyd moment or Philando Castile moment, we wouldn't have enough time in the day to cover it. It happens a lot. And what I'm saying is, even those cases when no one's killed, the trauma from that experience. You saw how that Latino man took that? You see how he took that? You see how destroyed he looked? You see his anguish? You see how his wife was reacting? You see the kids? You saw how he was crying in the elevator even after it was over? I've had that same experience getting on the subway train, dressed as a contractor in a shirt and tie. The shirt I had on had a company logo on it. I had my tie on, everything. They pulled me over, patted me down, searched me, just cause. I guess they thought I was not who I appeared to be. I should have reacted the way he did, violated, afraid, emasculated, intimidated, emotional. But you know what? I took it like a G. You know why? Because it happened so many times. It happens so many times, it becomes almost like it's just another day. It's just a Wednesday. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I can tell you time and time again where this has happened to me. So, I want to be clear, man. I'm not rooting for anybody else to go through any hardship. I'm not a sadistic person. But what I'm saying is I want people to look at it from the vantage point of Black Americans who have been going through this shit for such a long time that it seems disrespectful. It'd be one thing if you just talked about it and said, this is wrong what happened to this man. But when you write paragraph upon paragraph, when you are amping it up and you're acting like this is the end of the days, this guy had to show who he was. If every time a Black American had to show who they was to a cop and prove they didn't have a warrant, I don't know where we'd be. White America, I don't know where you be. I'm sure you've had the same similar experience as some of you. Maybe more of you. Why is it that what's happening to migrants and immigrants is so appalling, but what's been happening to Americans is no big deal? Yeah, we have a lopsided ass society. It's been that way for a long time. I'm sorry you didn't get the memo, ladies and gentlemen. When we were talking about it and have been talking about it and living it for the last couple hundred years, I thought maybe you'd have read that in a book somewhere. Maybe y'all need to talk to y'all Congress people about getting some real history put back into the books. Because if you don't know, this is how the cops have been operating up to this point, where you been. They didn't even pull their guns on you. I had cops surround me with guns for less, wearing a uniform, and somebody said, I think I see a Black man with a gun. And they just pulling up at random Black guys. At gunpoint. This guy didn't even have guns on his ass. And he looked like he was about to burst into flames. And you know what's sad about it, fam? You know what's sad about it? You know what's sad about it? His reaction is how we all should react. And that's the kicker. We should all react like this, man. This is what you're supposed to feel. You're supposed to be in shock. It's supposed to be traumatic. That's because it's not supposed to happen, right? But when it's happened so many times, and I can report on it, it's not because I haven't been wounded. It's not because we Black Americans haven't been wounded by these types of situations. It's that it's unhealed over. We've been hitting the same spot so many times, it's numb. That's not because we bad people. It's because we've been treated badly so often. For so long, it becomes regular. So when we're having these conversations, fam, when we're talking about this, when we are interacting on social media, and Latinos and Black Americans and non-Black Americans, but people from Africa or from different countries with brown, you're a black skinned person, but you're not a Black American, and you don't understand what's going on with Black Americans, I'm trying to make you understand. I'm trying to provide a little bit of insight to my white friends, to my progressives whose hearts are in the right place. I want you to know how it looks. I want you to see it from my point of view. But then again, if you did see it from my point of view, we wouldn't need to have this conversation, would we? Because you wouldn't be making your sanctimonious, long-ass post about how we don't have humanity because we don't feel sad or bad or we're not angry about what's going on. That's it. This could turn into a show by itself. I am not happy to see anybody suffer. I'm not happy to see this man sobbing in fear of losing his family. But that's what's been happening. The separation of families is exactly what's been happening to us forever. And it's happening right now. And it's not being reported on the news. It's not viral. It's not viral unless one of us dies and it's a slow news day. Do you understand? It happens all the time. And if you don't die, it goes nowhere. No one knows about it. But we know about it. We experience it. So when you're talking about empathy, you want other people to have empathy. And why don't we have empathy? Yeah. That's a good question. Why don't we have empathy? I've seen some well-meaning, there's some well-meaning black folks. They are. There's some very compassionate black folks, man. They understand suffering and pain, and they've seen so much. They would be the first ones to point out this injustice. They mean well. I personally think it's time for us to go to another level besides playing wet nurse to all the problems of other groups. That's that Al Sharpton. They do that for money. We need to. We get nothing for this. We get nothing. We're getting nothing out of playing the healer. I'll say this and I'll end it. There was a movie that came out, I think it was played by the late Michael Clark Duncan. Remember that? The Green Mile, I think it's called. In The Green Mile, Michael Clark Duncan, this hulking figure, used to absorb all the pain. He could suck all the pain out of a person and make their pains go away. He had this power to absorb all this pain. But in that process, it resided in him. He had to find a way to expel all that pain. Because if he took the pain out of the man, if he absorbed your pain, you no longer had it, but now he held that pain. And then he had to get that pain out. My problem with the current system, the way it's set up, and the current hierarchy and the civil rights activists, that's what they want to call themselves, who have been handpicked by the system and by the establishment of the Democratic Party. Black people are not exercising the pain. If that's the problem. I am not your Michael Clark Duncan. I'm not your Bagger Vance. I am not your magical Negro. We want our justice and we want our just due. That's what Black Americans want. And I think Black America is way past tired. We've been tired. It ain't just start with me. I'm just a continuation of many other voices who have been saying the same thing for so many years. James Baldwin said it. Before him, it was said by others. I'm gonna leave it there, folks. Like I said, this could be a segment. This is a show all to itself. They want to say that we're callous and we're unfeeling. Nah, man, we're just abused. That's all. We're just abused and traumatized. That's all. You know? First time, I remember we moved into Landover, Maryland, and I had a roommate, Rick and Tanya. Back when we only had one child, and we just starting out, we all split a 3-bedroom. So it was me and Mrs. Black and Tanya and Rick, and they had their one child, Shay. And I had my late daughter, Jasmine. We had our late daughter, Jasmine. And I remember it was this humongous roach. These humongous water bugs. Y'all see these big ass water bugs? And Mrs. Black will be mad that I told you the story. And Mrs. Black is from Petersburg, right? But she is not used to this shit, right? So we're just moving in. and one of these big ass roaches ran, right? It's the look on Mrs. Black, my baby's face, was like she's about to have, she damn near passed out. And I'm talking about, and Tanya from Southeast. I'm from Southeast originally, right? She said, "Oh, baby, there ain't nothing but a little roach." Pow! And she stepped on that roach and pushed it into the afterlife and laughed like, "Girl, you all right. Calm down. It's just a roach, baby." See, Mrs. Black was not traumatized. Tanya was. She didn't like roaches. She was just used to them. And that, my friend, it's what ICE is. It's what the cops are. It's what you're dealing with. Welcome to the neighborhood. All right, guys, that's all I got. Let me know what y'all think in the comments section, man. Like I said, we could go on and on. I could go on and on this topic, but yeah. Put on your roach killers. Those are big suckers. Big. All right. Next. Let me move this off the screen. Goodness gracious. There we go. Man, my brother Amari. Give one more shout out to Amari, man. Thank you, Amari, for that,
Next
my brother.
on deck with Tim Black.
Here are some things that have happened. Gas prices down. Economic indicators are decent. Brand new jobs report shows that's much better than expected. And border crossings are down. And now Trump's mega spending bill looks like it's going to be passed by Republicans. How do you Democrats fight back with the wins that Trump can tout?
Well, it depends on how you define wins, Sarah. Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
This is the Democratic Party in a nutshell, man. I want everybody to hear exactly what this lady said. She said, the reporter said, hey, these are the wins that Trump, these are the things Trump's been doing. I want to do this one more time and take notes.
Here are some things that have happened. Gas prices down. Economic indicators are decent. Brand new jobs report shows that's much better than expected. And border crossings are down. And now Trump's mega spending bill looks like it's going to be passed by Republicans. How do you Democrats fight back with the wins that Trump can tout?
Well, it depends on how you define wins, Sarah. Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Yeah, here's the problem with the Democratic Party. They don't know what a win is. They are not winning, and they don't know that Trump is winning. They don't even know they're in a game. They don't even know what's going on. The lady just said very clearly that what's happening right now with Donald Trump is we have lower gas prices. This is something everybody was talking about we needed to do, and now that it's happening, Debbie Wasserman Schultz from Florida doesn't even recognize that as a good thing. Because all she's programmed to say is Orange Man bad. Then she said the economic indicators show that the economy is doing well. Democrats don't know what to say to that. They can't respond. Oh, he's supposed to be destroying the economy. No, it's doing pretty well. Economic indicators are well. Border crossings are down. Yeah, see, the word went out that if you come to the border, you're going to get sent back, so people stop coming to the border. The border problem or the border influx was only due to the fact, by word of mouth, people heard that the border was basically open for business. Anybody can come over. That's pretty much how Biden ran it for the last 4 years. And now that it's not open, it's not an open free for all, less people are coming to the border, which means less people are being sent back because they're not even showing up. Maybe they're going to Canada, maybe they're going to Sweden. I don't know where they're going, but they're going somewhere else. And last but not least, Donald Trump's spending bill. I heard this spending bill is not going to be good for folks under 50,000, I think it is. So it really is, from what I understand, that good for poor folks. But it is Trump's agenda, and it passed. Debbie Wasserman Schultz. The question is, hey, Debbie, how are you Democrats going to respond to Trump's wins? And she said, well, it depends on what you define wins. I think you define wins if you're a Republican or if you're a Trump supporter or if you're Donald Trump's administration. You define it by the gas prices, the better economic outlook, less border crisis, less of a border problem, and the bill passing, your agenda passing, the economic agenda passing in the House and the Senate. Yeah, I think that's what you call a win. So, like, I don't know if it wasn't for the Democrats selling fear, selling trepidation. What's going to happen tomorrow? Oh, he going to take us to World War III, or he bringing slavery back. If you weren't selling those items, they'd have nothing to talk about. I mean, what really can they say? Part of what they're up against is there are some of us that have the ability to remember what happened yesterday. Yes, some folks, some voters, some folks, we get it. We remember when Joe Biden was in office. We remember how things were not great. We remember we had high inflation. Inflation's cooled off. It is what it is. We remember Biden said, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this with that big spending bill he put out, the electric vehicle bill or whatever, the broadband he said he was doing, the school student loan reform and all these things he said he was going to do. And there were so many things he said he was going to do that he never got to. What happened to all of that? Remember, Trump has only been in office since January. It hasn't even been a year yet. And look at all that he's accomplished. Whether you like it or not, it's what he wanted to accomplish. What did Biden accomplish? Right now, I feel that Trump has done more in 9 months, 7 months, than what Biden did in 4 years. It's just that Biden had a good PR team that was able to get out in front and tell stories on all these network cable news shows and lie. He had the benefit of having The View, late night TV comedies from Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, everybody singing the same old tune. Making it look like Biden was effective when he wasn't. To that point, check this out.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
I think you really have to give a lot of credit to Donald Trump, whether or not you like the way that he moves. I was thinking about the fact that when we look back to the last administration, it was Senator Manchin and Senator Kristen Sinema who were really kind of the reason why then President Biden didn't get all of the more liberal policies that he wanted, because they did not want to move that far. And you did not hear President Biden threatening to primary them. You did not hear President Biden pushing his political allies to put up ads against them in the way that you're seeing Donald Trump do it. And so I think that, it'll be interesting to see how, it's hardball. It's hardball. It's twisting the arms when he needs to.
Next.
And this is something that I was pointing out back in real time, back when Biden was in office. I didn't just start doing this because Trump got elected, man. I've been saying these things when Biden was in office. If they cared to listen, if anybody cared to tune in, you would have known. I'm not Johnny come lately to this talking point. I was saying, hey, Democrats, why the Democratic Party? Why aren't they pushing and fighting for their agenda? Why are you telling me these excuses? That Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin are mucking up the whole works. They're throwing a monkey wrench in it. It's nothing Biden could do. Nah, man, it's nothing he wanted to do. See, I believe all that stuff was just a game. It's just a scheme. It's a setup. It's like Ocean's 11. You say you want to do all these great things, and then you get your man on the sneak tip to stop you from doing it. And then you get to pretend like you're a victim of this bad guy stopping you from doing the thing you really want to do. That's called a scam. See, the difference between the Democrats and Republicans are this. In this particular case, we're talking about Donald Trump, okay? The difference between Biden and Trump are pretty clear. Trump actually wants to get his agenda done. Biden really didn't want to get shit done. And he set up foils in the form of cinema and Manchin to make it look like it wasn't his fault. Yeah. Biden played along because Trump is very clear. He's like, look, if you stand in front of my agenda, I will go after your neck. I don't care if you're Elon Musk and you put $500 or $400 million into my campaign. If you get in the way of my agenda, I'm coming for your neck. He's even threatening Elon Musk with taking away his subsidies in his business from the federal government. Just because Elon Musk was talking smack about his agenda. What was Biden doing when Sinema and Manchin were like, nah, we're not going to vote for that. Nah, we're not going to vote for this. Biden never threatened him, not once. He's talking about being civil. See, I'm not one of those people that buy into this nonsense that Democrats are more civil. They're not civil. They're phony. They're actors. They want to be in Hollywood. They're theatrical. But they are not ethical. Biden did not go after Sinema and Manchin because they were doing his bidding. Yeah, that's what I believe. I got no way to prove it. I'm trying to tell you, I know how people act when they want to get something done and you're in the way of getting it done. They get upset. They come for your neck. They put a hit out. They put out ads. They go after you in the media. Those Democrats never really went after Manchin. Nah, they didn't really go after Sinema because those two bad Dems were doing what the Democratic Party elites wanted them to do, which was stop the most progressive portions of his agenda. He knew this is what the country wanted him to be, but he didn't want to do it. Trump is at least, you say he's not honest, but he's honestly trying to get done what he's trying to get done. And you can tell that by how hard he goes at those who oppose him. Can say that about Biden. Democrats are phony. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's like the kente cloth. It's like taking the knee for George Floyd. George Floyd, he sacrificed his life for us so that we could pass this bill that didn't even get passed. And then once it's out the news, people all forgot about it. You know, damn George Floyd bill get passed. Just a moment in time to fundraise off of. That's all it was. Most black Americans are not a part of the game. They're not a part of the charade of the Democratic Party. They are victims of it. That's the lesson I take from it. And too many times, conservatives who are also victims of things themselves talk and act as if black Americans are in on it. I don't think they are. No more than I think Republican voters are in on how the Republicans be selling them up the river the same way. It happens both sides. But we looking at Trump. He ain't the same as any other Republican. He is trying to get his agenda done. He's not just talking. That's why he set the record number of executive orders in the first 100 days. That's why he did it. That was really what he did. He really wrote those executive orders. He truly had an agenda. He took his time for 4 years and put together a plan and then went to executing that plan. Rapid response. That's what he did. And then you don't get the same thing out of the Democrats. You get a bunch of talk. You get a bunch of theatrics, a bunch of song and dance. You get a show, but you don't get no performance, no execution. A lot of virtual signaling and gaslighting, no results. At the end of the day, with all that talking about student loan reduction and reform, less than 10% of people with student loans had their debt resolved. Less than 10%. And as big as the story was from CNN to MSNBC to CBS to ABC, you would have thought more people had their debt wiped out. But 10%, it's almost 1 million people. Yeah, man, you know how many people have student loan debt? Millions. 100 million people got student loan debt, goofy. 1/10 of the student loan debt. And all of it wasn't wiped out. We're talking about just a portion. But they rode that news cycle for about, I'd say, 13, 14 months. So yeah, there's a big difference between Democrats and Republicans. Big difference between Biden supporters, which is really hard to find those. What you had was people who couldn't stand Trump, and Trump supporters. It is what it is. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Hit the like button. Let the algorithm know you're watching the Tim Black Show here live. All right, next. These things get me going, man. I can keep going, but I don't want to. I don't want to monopolize it. I want to move on to the next story.
On Deck with Tim Black.
But y'all had 4 years to do exactly what the hell was right. But instead, y'all sat your goofy ass up in the White House worried about small issues like abortions and gay rights, something that the states can handle. And then when a real president get in there and show y'all what a real president do, y'all still big ass mad. Woo, I can't stand these damn people. Woo, they get on my nerves. I wish Hakeem Jeffries would shut up. Sat down and then shut that. See, I'm trying my hardest to watch my mouth, but they be pissing me off.
Next on Deck.
That sister said it pretty well. They had 4 years to get their agenda done, and what'd they do? Because they didn't really want to get their agenda done. They just wanted to win an election. All right, moving on, fam, moving on. And thank you, that sister. That sister hooked that up. Thank you, sister. I seen her clips before. I don't know who she is. Gotta find out who she is.
Back with Tim Black.
I love you, a brother. You intelligent.
Okay, so look, guys. Right now, it's a brother named Marc Lamont Hill. You see him on CNN, the Griot, the Huffington Post Live, the Black News Network. Now he's on the Joe Budden podcast and everywhere, man. Marc Lamont Hill's been doing it well. Dr. Hill has become like, I don't know, man, the guy who's about town, you know? And look, he's getting his props, and people need to recognize that he's having a moment right now. This particular clip I'm about to play you is a confrontation between him and somebody at an event. That's all I know. It looks like it's a couple years old. It's not that old, but it's at least a couple years old. I want to respond to it. Let's play the clip and then dig in.
I love you, a brother. You intelligent. But I want you to go hard in the paint for African Americans like you do the Palestinians.
Let me ask you a question. What would hard to pay for our people look like? What am I not doing for our people that I should be?
You're doing like Michael Eric Dyson. In my opinion, it's like you catering to white liberal audiences.
You been to Uncle Bobby's?
No, I haven't.
You support Uncle Bobby's?
I don't know who that is.
Right, it's the second largest black bookstore in America that I own and created for our people. It's next door to the People's Education Center, which is free education, free political education, free GED training, free job training that I do for our people. Not a Palestinian in a bunch. I live in a black community. My lady is black. My children are black. Everybody in my world is black.
That don't mean nothing. Where's he at?
So again, the question is, what am I not doing that you want me to be doing?
What I'm saying is...
No, you said I'm white liberal politics. Give me an example. I've been part of the prison abolitionist movement. That's Angela Davis. She a white liberal? Nah.
Okay.
Next on Deck with Tim Black.
Okay, so I wanted to address this, man, because I see an opportunity here to have a conversation I think needs to be had. And it's... Here it is. Uncle Bobby's, that's impressive. Uncle Bobby's, the bookstore that Marc Lamont Hill said he set up, and other work he's doing, the prison abolitionist movement. Dr. Cornel West does the same thing, goes into prisons and does that. And I think that's admirable stuff, and that's good stuff. Here's the problem, though. This is something I think that Dr. Hill could have said, and I wish she would have. Look, man, when even someone like Dr. Hill, who will tell you, hey, man, I support Black Americans, I support, Black Americans getting off the bottom in America and having success, what he won't tell you is that when he goes on these platforms, there's basically guardrails of what the conversation is. You go on a platform like CNN and you're talking about a particular topic, that's what he's there to talk about, the particular topic. What the brother doesn't realize is part of him getting airtime was to talk about Palestinians or to talk about LGBTQ or to talk about whatever these white liberals were talking about. That's why they brought him on. When they had him on the Piers Morgan show, he's going back and forth with Piers Morgan show about Palestinians. I mean, I guess he could have tried to shoehorn in some things about Black America. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But he's not been invited on these platforms to talk about our issues. He's been invited on those platforms to talk about those issues or the issues that they handpicked. Problem is, we need platforms, our own platforms, where we're able to have these conversations, right? Where we're able to talk about issues that matter to us. That's what ownership is all about, because it's not just white liberal issues. Folks, the majority of mainstream media doesn't want to hear about anything important. They don't want to hear about poor-ass white people, let alone poor-ass Black people. They don't want to hear about what's going on in West Virginia or Appalachia or areas of Detroit, areas of Pennsylvania. Like, they don't want to hear about rural pain in the middle of the country. They're there for talking points, right? America doesn't give a damn about anybody. Right, that's just the truth. The networks don't really care. They don't talk about what's happening with mental health in America. That should be an epidemic. Right now, white men are dying at a pace via self-deletions, right, that's never been seen before. And how often do they talk about that? Because the cable news network is not there to report on issues that really matter to even white people. You know what I'm saying? They're not even thinking about reporting on our stuff unless it's something sensational, okay? So when a Marc Lamont here or whoever goes on these platforms, I had to learn, because I've had the same criticism, but I've had the benefit of being on a couple platforms. They tell you what they're going to talk about when they bring you on. They tell you what the topic is, right? And you already know what the talking points are going to be, what's going to be discussed. Yeah, you could try to slide in a sentence or two that's, and try to tie it to whatever you're talking about and bring it back to Black America. But it's not always easy to do. So that's part of the disconnection, right? I'm not going to say that Dr. Marc Lamont Hill, doesn't care about Black Americans. I think it's obvious that he does. If you want to see Dr. Hill, talk about Black shit, you need to go to his program. Go to his show. Go to his YouTube channel. Like you're doing now to watch my shit. Because if I was on CNN, they wouldn't give me the opportunity to. And it's another thing. When you do take the opportunity, when you're on these networks and you shoehorn in a Black American issue, and it's unprompted, it doesn't make sense in the programming or what you're talking about, that'll probably be your last time being invited on that show. I'm somebody who's been basically blackballed by Black media. And I'm saying Black establishment media has basically put the word out about me. They don't like when I criticize Joy Reid and Ellie Mistel and Tiffany Cross or these people. But if I was just going at Ted Cruz, what good would I do? We don't care about Ted Cruz. We care about what Al Sharpton's doing. We care about what Bishop Jamal Bryant is doing. We care. So I got to talk about the people that impact my people. We're not impacted by Mitch McConnell. So the price to pay for me has been, ostracized by my own people who are in powerful positions to deny me access. You don't want that to happen to Dr. Marc Lamont Hill, do you? Because that's all that's going to happen. If he goes on these programs, he starts standing 10 toes down for black people in every juncture, you'll see less and less of him unless you see him on the Joe Budden podcast. So I just thought it was important to kind of put that out there. When I was supporting Dr. West, people were coming at me all the time. Didn't understand why Dr. West was talking about Palestinians. That's why he was given a platform. And he felt like, I'm not in his head, but I'm assuming, because I felt like I know him to a certain degree. I felt like if he wasn't talking about that, you wouldn't have saw him. He wouldn't have been there. There were people that ran for president that you didn't even see. Marianne Williamson, the guy Dean Phillips, the congressperson. You didn't even see them on media. So the system will shut you out, okay? And when you talk about shit that's important, whether it be Cancer Alley in Alabama, when you talk about really what's going on with jobs, when you talk about the actual influx, when we talk about the impact of immigration on black Americans, for instance, don't nobody want to hear about that but Fox. Anybody else blackballs you if you talk about that. Because that's not what the system, that's not what corporate media wants us to have a conversation about. They don't want that discussed. So I'm not defending Marc Lamont Hill. What I'm just trying to do is shine a little light. You know, shine a little light on the situation. I feel like Marc Lamont Hill could have said these things. He could have said, hey, when I'm on those shows that you see me or that you're probably talking about, the conversation is a totally different conversation because that's their platform. And that's why they invited me to talk about those issues. But tune into me on my platform where I get to talk about what I want to talk about. That's why tonight you've heard me talk about immigration, black people getting pulled over, driving while black, being black while being black. You heard this because that's that conversation they want to have on MSNBC or CNN. All right, that's it. So no, I really don't have harsh criticism for Marc Lamont Hill. All I have is my point of view on why, and also I think he actually does support Palestinians. He actually does support those issues that he talks about. But that doesn't mean he doesn't support black Americans. I think he does. But those platforms don't. And if they do, is that in a way that's going to move the needle for us? That's why black independent media is so important. That's why it's so important, because only in a black media, black-owned media, do we really get to have those conversations. I don't mean, and look, man, I don't mean Roland Martin, man. When Roland Martin want to talk about Democratic talking points, Roland Martin may not be owned by the Democrats, but he's owned. He's owed by the Democrats, and he owes the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? So his platform, too much of it is focused on Democratic Party talking points. Now, I'm talking about black independent media. There is Latino independent media. There is Asian independent media. There's independent media all across the internet. Right? And when you go to their content, they're saying 10 toes down on what they stand for. All right, that's it. That's all I got, man. Hope that makes sense. Let's keep it moving.
As President Trump tours the new detainment center that he's calling Alligator Alcatraz, we're learning more about one migrant recently held at a nearby South Florida facility. This is 75-year-old Isidro Perez. He's pictured here with his family, the guy with the beard in the background. He's a Cuban immigrant who came to the United States nearly 6 decades ago, likely allowed entry under parole programs for Cubans fleeing Fidel Castro's communist regime. He came to the United States back when he was 16 years old, reportedly working as a mechanic and fisherman. But in June, Perez was arrested by ICE. When his family says that he was sitting at a community center. You can see him here in this photo provided by a family friend, the white beard, his hands behind his back. ICE says that he was charged with inadmissibility pursuant to the Immigration and Nationality Act. He was sent about an hour east of the facility where President Trump toured today to Chrome Detention Center, which in recent weeks has been in the spotlight for moments like this one. Around the time of Perez's arrest, local media captured this demonstration. It's a group of detainees at Chrome standing in what you can see as an SOS formation, essentially asking for help. According to a medical intake completed the day after Perez's arrest, he had been diagnosed with multiple health problems. His former partner, Maria Alanis, told the Miami Herald that the 75-year-old complained of severe overcrowding at Chrome and of there not being enough beds and him having to sleep on the floor. About 2 weeks after entering Chrome, Perez had to be taken to a local hospital where ICE says that he was admitted with unstable angina, cardiac issues that could lead to a heart attack. ICE says that he was discharged last Wednesday, but then the next day he reported chest pains and suffered a medical emergency. Rescue crews were able to revive him and then transfer him to a local hospital for treatment, but a short time later he was pronounced dead. So why was this 75-year-old man found inadmissible into the United States after being here for almost 60 years? It may be because some 40 years ago in the early 1980s, Perez was convicted twice for possession of a controlled substance. Court records uncovered by the Miami Herald show that in one of those cases, he and another person were stopped on a boat and charged with possession and intent to distribute some 1,500 pounds of marijuana. At the same time, a judge sentenced him to 18 months in prison with 2 years probation. A family member told the Herald that the stint in prison actually gave Perez the opportunity to turn his life around, and he became an excellent person who helped his loved ones, especially the young ones, learn to swim and fish. In a letter notifying Congress that he'd passed, ICE says that, quote, it remains committed to ensuring that all those in its custody reside in safe, secure, and humane environments. Comprehensive medical care is provided from the moment that individuals arrive throughout the entirety of their stay. Here's the president's border czar, Tom Homan, at the White House when he was asked about Perez's case.
I'm unaware of that. I'm not aware of that. I mean, people die in ICE custody. People die in county jails. People die in state prisons. I mean, if you look at, when I was ICE director and we drilled down that, the question should be how many lives does ICE save? Because when they go into detention, we find many with diseases and stuff that we deal with right away to prevent death. So I'm not aware of that specific case, but I'll say this. People can argue with me all they want, but the facts are the facts. I think the politicians in New Jersey found this out, that we have the highest detention standards in the industry.
The official cause of death for Isidro Perez is still being investigated. His family, though, has questions, including his stepdaughter, who told the Miami Herald, quote, I don't understand what's really going on. We're all human. Why are they picking up 75-year-old people? Joining me now to discuss is Claire Healy. She's an Esserman Investigative Fellow.
Okay. Before I get to the next point of this, I want to point out, man, that first of all, I'm sorry what happened to this brother. This older man. This is sad. Okay, and I'm not here to make light of that because a man lost his life. He died from medical condition, and that's sad. And I'm sure his family is broken up about it, and it seems like it was unnecessary. Okay, that's what it seems like. I don't know the condition he was in before being put into a detention center, but in whatever case. So my condolences to the family of this man, and I would say his last name, but I'm sure I butcher it. Okay, so I want to be clear there. I'm not here to make light of it or to mock him or anything like that. That's not what I'm trying to do. But what I want to point out is something I've been saying, guys, and that is, this is America. And it's just amazing that some people just don't know how America rolls. And I think instead of getting upset about it, and, I think I need to educate you on what America is. I think some people don't get it. Okay, so how this man was treated, is really no different than how Americans are treated in general, okay? First of all, America's prisons have problems, Johnson. Mass incarceration. We got 20% of the world's prison population, despite having only 5% of the global population. The U.S. houses more than 20% of the world's prison population since 1970, and incarceration population has increased by 500%. Let me pop back on the screen, man. Let me do this. 500%. Since we started voting Democrat, 90 to 95%, the prison population increased 500%. And who you think it increased most with? We'll get to that. All right, so we got the global comparison, we got the growth rate. The current total is 2 million people incarcerated. Approximately 2 million Americans are currently in prisons and jails. Then we got the annual costs. $182 billion total system costs, including policing, courts, and family costs. Taxpayer burden continues to grow. Violence crisis. Male inmates, 25% of male inmates are assaulted. That's 1 out of 4 prisoners report physical assault during their sentence. I don't think people truly realize how bad our prisons are. 19%, we have healthcare problems, healthcare failures. 19% never see a doctor. This man did see doctors. Nearly 1 in 5 prisoners never see a healthcare provider while they're incarcerated. I'm just trying to make people understand that what happened with this man and what he faced is typical, for prison inmates across the country. I don't think what happened with him is much different than what happens in general. Now let's talk about the racial disparities, because I think this is important to my audience. And I think white Americans, Latino Americans, Asian Americans, all Americans need to understand what part of our beef is. Black boys, 1 in 3 will be incarcerated in their lifetime. 1 in 6 Latinos will be incarcerated in their lifetime. So it already shows we're 2 times more likely to be incarcerated than Latinos. And if we compare white kids, even though they're the majority of the people in the country, 1 in 17. While white boys will be incarcerated in their lifetime. 20 times more likely for black citizens to get life without parole for nonviolent crimes. 20 times. Then we got the mental health problems, right? We got 43% have mental health disorders, yet only 6% receive professional help at any given time. 6%. Recidivism, 68% are rearrested in 3 years. Our system fails at rehabilitation. 83% arrested within 9 years. So it's 68 within 3 years and 83% within 9 years. Technical violations, 128,000. 9 criminal violations. People in prison for probation, parole violations, not new crimes. And chronic conditions. They need ongoing care. Most prisons have chronic health conditions requiring continuous treatment. So what I'm saying, folks, once again, we ain't here to make light of what happened with this young man or with this older man. It's not here to make light about that. What I'm trying to shed light on is the fact that we have a prison problem. Tom Homan, the border czar guy, He said, hey, man, we do a better job than our local prisons. Now, I need to fact check that to make sure it's true, but I guess it makes sense. They have less people in those detention centers than the general, regular penitentiary might have, right? And maybe they have newer facilities. Maybe they have, they're more under us. We know that they're definitely more under the microscope than other facilities. So what I'm saying is, America has a hard time with its prisons. And American citizens are given a hard time dealing with our justice system, if that's what you call it. And I don't know where people have been, but this has been going on for quite some time. I know people that work within the prison systems. They talk about it. It's not a hidden information. And what the Democrats are doing, and it ticks me off, is they're looking at it now and they're only reporting on it because it's a benefit to them to report on this immigration issue and tie it to Trump and blame Trump for the death of this man, for instance. But all across this country, there are citizens that are dying in prisons. U.S. citizens that are not migrants, that are not undocumented. And it doesn't make the light of day because they don't really care about inmates. They don't care about people dying in prisons. If that's the case, they could do documentary series, updates, follow this closer. They don't. The only reason why the Democratic Party is talking about it is because they want to hurt Trump. If not, then this will be a regular recurring situation because believe it, our prisons are in such low regard. They are so dangerous that they deserve their own focus on at least a weekly basis. That's if they actually cared, and they do not. So that's why I've been so ticked off when I see these Congress people, these Democratic Congress people, going to detention centers, making a big spectacle. They drive by 3 other U.S. systems, U.S. detention centers or regular jails or prisons to get to a detention center with a camera. You understand what I'm saying? They drive by 3 facilities on their way to an immigration detention center. Don't stop at the centers where U.S. citizens are being held to see what kind of conditions they're in, to see what's going on there. No, that's not important because they're only doing this for political grandstanding. They're doing it because this is how you make a name for yourself. They're doing it because this helps the Democratic Party. And that's another one of the reasons why I say screw them. That's why I say we need to get away from the Democratic Party because too many of us buy into this nonsense. I'm not saying the Republicans are great when it comes to prisons, but at least they're not cherry picking. You know what you get? You get a party that could probably care less about people in prisons, right? You know what they don't do? They don't go and start caring whether it's a migrant. They don't care at all. That's my interpretation of it. So you want the person that's virtue signaling, pulling at your heartstrings, trying to make a political point, pretending to care, or you want to just be like, oh, these people don't care. We need to fight against them to make them care. Or you want the people that pretend to care when they don't. Don't get it twisted. Both are bad. I'm not here telling you both are good. I'm not here to tell you one is better than the other. What I'm saying, well, actually, I'm telling you one is better. I don't like deception. I don't like phonies. I don't like all this noise about a problem they know has been going on. Fix the problem. Not just try to fight Trump. Orange man bad does not help anybody. That's it. That's all. All right, guys, we made it to the last segment of the show. I got one more segment I want to cover, and we'll be done for tonight. Wow. This is where I remind you that If you're interested in doing what I do, if you're interested in also all political information and you want to get your politics game up, well, you're in the right place. I recently opened up my website, timblackconsulting.com. I'm available. One-on-one sessions. We can hash it out. Let me know what issues you want to do, what issue you're concerned about, what you're trying to do. And when we get together on Zoom, just you and I'm at your disposal. It's something I think I kind of stumbled into it and realized, like, wow, looking back, like, wow, man, I've been doing this 13 years, since 2012, 2013. Wow. That's a little legacy. People might find this valuable. I know we joke a lot, but there's actually expertise involved in what we do. So go to timblackconsulting.com. I got 30-minute blocks, 60-minute blocks, and 90-minute blocks. Schedule something. You can do it right there on the website. And we could definitely have those conversations. And you walk away with a game plan. You don't just walk away with a conversation. I'm going to follow up with you. I'm going to provide you with something in writing, an action plan that you can implement that will help you take whatever we discussed and go put it into action. You got to execute on the conversation. It's not just to talk. It's strategy, it's advice, it's tips. And from that, you're going to walk away with something that you own, that you can use to implement in your life, in your business, or in your career. All right? All right. Once again, go to timblackconsulting.com. And for my Wolfpack members, if you use Wolfpack 25, Wolfpack 25, you get 25% off. So that's what I'm offering for my Wolfpack people. So when you schedule, make sure you put in the details, Wolfpack 25, and save a fourth. That's it. That's all I got on that note. I'll see you there at timblackconsulting.com. Now, got through it. Okay. Folks, last segment, it's a good segment. Yeah, man, I feel like we had such heavy content tonight. I wanted to find something that was a pick-me-up. So in that spirit, here goes our last story.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
A dream vacation turned into a terrifying experience when a young girl fell overboard off of a Disney cruise ship and right into the ocean. It's a story our Erica Sargent's following. And after the little girl fell, her dad did not skip a beat. He jumped in to save her.
Yes, it's incredible, really. You have to see this. So it happened during a 4-day cruise between South Florida and the Bahamas, and much of the rescue was recorded by fellow passengers.
Bless his heart. How did he survive that long?
Video taken aboard a Disney cruise ship shows the heart-stopping moments of a father and daughter rescued at sea. The man jumped in after the girl fell overboard. Witnesses say they had to tread water for up to 20 minutes.
What a dad. Oh my God, that's a dad that needs to have a hero. He's a hero.
He couldn't get to the life preservers because he was holding on to his daughter.
Laura Amador says the captain slowed the ship and turned it around as a small rescue boat raced out to the pair.
The ship was moving quickly, so quickly. It's crazy how quickly the people became little tiny dots in the sea and then you lost sight of them.
The incident happened yesterday as the Disney Dream returned to South Florida after a 4-night voyage to the Bahamas. Passengers credit crew members for reacting quickly and say they appeared highly trained and prepared for this exact situation.
And everyone was like cheering on the ship, and just the amazing quick response of Disney made a big difference.
In a statement, Disney said, "We commend our crew members for their exceptional skills and prompt actions, which ensure the safe return of both guests to the ship within minutes." It's unclear how the child fell overboard. The ship has plexiglass safety barriers on its decks. Even with the height of the ship, the waves, all of that. Thankfully, both the father and daughter are reportedly doing all right.
That they survived that they could tread water that long, all of it incredible. Erica, thanks. We'll see you at 5.
Next on deck.
Man, when I heard that story, man, I was like, wow. Wow. You know what I'm saying? That what an ending to a horrific event that took place, man. I don't know what to tell you, man. When you look at how small those people look in the ocean, like finding them is a miracle. I mean, him finding his daughter is a miracle, and them able to stay afloat that long. Both of them, I mean, the probability of them surviving is like small, very tiny. That's what the experts say. And the fact that they were able to be rescued, that's amazing. So shout out to that dad. And wow, that little girl knows dad loves her. I mean, that's something. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but I'm really happy. I'm truly happy that that father was able to go in there and save his little baby, save his daughter, and jumped into the water. I like to say I would be able to do that. I hope I would be able to do it. I mean, I know I could see jumping. Hope I would be good enough swimmer to tread for 20 minutes. I don't know if I could tread for 20 minutes. I mean, maybe old Tim Black, young Tim Black could do it. I don't know about now. They throw me one of them rubber things or something. Yeah, I'm gonna need one of them. I don't know, man. They say things. Hey, look, when you got to do something, they say things. You're able to do it. You know, you're able to do all types of amazing things when your back's against the wall. I saw a video years ago. Well, I heard a story years ago of a car slipped off the damn jack or something, and the wife came in and picked it up, you know, because her husband was under it or something like that. Like, what? That's what I heard. So, you know, you hear these stories of people doing miraculous things, you know, in the heat of the moment, man, when the adrenaline's pumping, that we're capable of doing so much more. So, I don't know if that's true, but it seems like it is. Because the dad able to tread water for 20 minutes while holding his daughter. That's amazing. You know, I'd have caught 3 Charlie horses. I don't know how you do it. I mean, I don't know what you do. I guess you do because you got to. What you gonna do? Yeah, I don't know. And the waves are no joke. I mean, you know, I'm thinking like if you're in a pool, it'd be hard to do. Imagine trying to do that with the waves trying to push you. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. That's amazing. That's something. Make a movie out of that. You know what I'm saying? Make a movie out of that. Sell that story. I heard people saying, he was trying to take a selfie with his daughter before she fell over. I don't know about that. You got any proof? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Why everybody want to be horrible? Like, you don't know. Look, if he was trying to take a selfie, I don't think he meant for her to fall. Right? So I don't even know if it's true. I shouldn't even put that in there. People gonna run with that. See, that's what he get. Nah. He risked his life to save his daughter. The end. Stop being negative. Give him his props. All right, that's all I got, guys. Thank you for tuning into the Tim Black Show. Remember, we do this Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday right here when you're watching right now on Facebook and X. Not Facebook. Damn, on YouTube and X. We used to do Facebook. We can't do Facebook because they don't like the clips. When I put clips into my content, YouTube's fine, X is fine, Facebook's like, no. It's like, all right, then. No Facebook. That's why I said on Facebook. All right, Wolfpack, I got nothing but love for you. Let's go to the comments section. Tim Black's Wolfpack is in the house. Zen Soulful says, good night. Good night, Zen. Dave Pascal says, peace. Diamond G says, maybe a Disney special feature, but not a full movie. Hey, thank you for that, Katrina Prater. I appreciate it. Infamous Eli. What's up, Eli? A new face is in the place. Thanks, Eli. Raven says, I do watch on X. That's what's up, Raven. Thank you, fam. Shout out to my people that came through, man. McClinty. Oh, M City King up in the building. M City King 84 is in the house. Hebrew Native says she could have gotten him unalive, no doubt. I don't know how that happened. Black Mama says your superpowers of his dad would have kicked in. I like to say that. I hope it would have. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to find out. Yeah, watch your children, says Alicia Hill. Yeah, man, you know, all I can say is I hope I can do it. That's all I'm saying. I hope I can do it. Man, I've been at the beach, man. I was like, I don't know, man. It's them waves get you. It's like, I don't know if I can do that for 20 minutes. Tread water? 20 minutes? That's a long time, man. You might be in the upper room messing with me. Both be in the upper room like, Daddy, huh? What happened? In the upper room, baby. I don't know, man. Let me not talk like that, man. Not funny, Tim. I guess I can because it's a happy ending, right? I'm sure I'd have did the same thing. I'd have jumped in that water, swum to my baby, and held her up there, put her on my shoulders, just been like this the whole time. Like, what's up? Looking like DMX up in that joint. I'd have done it. That's it, fam. Hey, look, that's all I got, fam. I appreciate y'all being here tonight, man. I see you tomorrow when we end the week strong. Hold up. Tomorrow's 4th of July. We ain't going to be here tomorrow. See what I'm saying? See? That's crazy. We ain't going to be here tomorrow. It's 4th of July. I got to go to D.C., man, with my family, man, and do the 4th of July thing. You know what? I'll probably jump in on a live stream from my phone or something just to holler at y'all, but only come through if you're around. You know what I'm saying? If you're just hanging around. But, yeah, I'm going to be with the fam, man. So, yeah. I think we'll be back Sunday with a full-time show. Yeah, we'll have an entire show on Sunday. But I gotta go do the 4th of July with the fam, man. Yeah, my brother has the 4th of July is at his house, man. I gotta go. I gotta come through, man. I lucked out. He was like, just bring water, man. I was like, what else, man? He said, nothing, man. I got everything else, my brother. It's like, all right. That's my little brother. Like, all right, just big dog, I'll bring water. I'll bring a couple pies, too. He don't know I'm bringing. Pick up a couple desserts. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Number love for y'all. Remember, like I always say, don't let anybody take your cornbread. That's your cornbread. Keep your cornbread, fam. All right. And as always, how I end every show. Where's my ladies? Where is my ladies? There they go.